This is the Knitting with Anxiety and Stress podcast, season 1, episode 4.5. This is a special edition, Melt the Ice Red Hat Day special podcast. Today, I'm mostly just talking about Red Hat Day, which could be when you are seeing this. Um, on this podcast, we talk about using knitting as an anxiety and stress management tool. And I'm feeling very, very stressed out right now. I was sick all last week and I finally gotten some sleep. And I'm at that point where I'm like, oh my God, I have so much I need to catch up on, right? Um, but we're going to calm down, be intentional, and follow through the sequence, right? Um, Before starting any knitting project, and I'm going to mention that in every episode of season 1, we need to wash our hands. Make it a cleansing ritual before you get started. You don't want to um, infuse your stress into your product that you're making. You also don't want to infuse all the dirt and grime that ends up getting embedded into the lines and creases of your fingers and your hands. I had a bad experience with that at age 7 in my very first knitting project, when my grandmother taught me how to knit, and you can hear about that in episode 1. That the whole story I'm not going to repeat every time. Um, Next, we're going to center ourselves. I desperately need this right now today. I feel really overwhelmed. So, I know a lot of people tell you when you're stressed, if you're going to use breathing techniques to help calm yourself, you should breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. That works for some things, but when I am feeling very jittery, like I am right now, because I'm so overwhelmed, I'm almost at the point where I can feel my nerve jumping when I do this. So, what works best for me when I get this anxiety um, level is to breathe in and out through my mouth. It just seems to open up my chest more. I don't know if that's because I have asthma, no idea, but that's what we're going to do right now. You're That's not your thing. You're free to skip over this part. We're going to take 4 breaths in, starting right now. So we put our hand here. I'm going to do this today too. Okay. Um, so, um, being organized before we start knitting is foundational. And we're going to talk about that with the third project that I took on and made 2 different versions of it. The Melt the Ice Red Hat. I will put in the comments, I think, not the description. I'll make a pinned comment later with the link to the knitwear designer that does the channel Red Hat Factory, where he has a couple of different ones where he talks about the hat. So this is the one that I showed last week. I did this exactly the way the pattern said. You do want 6 inches when you unfold it, right? You've got 6 inches of ribbing. You really do want that. It looks better on your head and it hugs your head a little bit better. However, the crown is, I am a very short person. This is, this is so short. I mean, compared to my ink pen, right? This is like a standard ink pen. Here's another one. You can see how short that is. I did this exactly the way the pattern called for. It did not have any extra rows in between the decreases. So I will put that. I have a Google Doc correction so that I will put in the description. So what does that look like when you correct it? It looks more like this. Now this may look really long here, but look at when you actually put that on an adult size head, that's what you're gonna get, right? That's kind of what we're aiming for with this hat pattern. This one, I did 2 rows between every decrease, and I actually did 7 inches of ribbing. I also reversed it. I don't know if you can see that. So you can see that the pretty cast on edge is there. And then I did a row of just stockinette stitch there so that it will more naturally fold. My kid who wanted me to do this for them, who has a full adult sized head, wanted a little bit of extra ribbing on there. Now, neither of these have been blocked. I want you to just look at these and compare. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay, so if I put my hand in here and I put my hand in here, do you see what I'm talking about? This is for somebody with a child-sized head. With the way the pattern is written originally from the group in Minnesota that's selling the pattern on Ravelry, right? This is what it looks like when I put the 2 extra rows, and you can see just the difference in it, and you also get the little bit at the top that flops over like it's supposed to, right? So if you're knitting for a child, absolutely go with the pattern the way it's written. My Google Doc that shows writes out how to do 2 extra rows in between the decreases is completely free, right? I'm not gonna. We're all here to. We're all here to help each other and find some community and everything, right? So tomorrow, hang on, was there something else I was going to say about that? Nope. This is a really short episode because this is like a halfway special edition podcast. Tomorrow, because both of these need to be blocked, I'm going to be uploading a short that shows how to properly block, whether you're knitting or crocheting, shows how to properly block your finished product. There is a lot of misinformation out there right now, some of it from very long-term respected knitwear designers. We're talking like ones who have been considered staples in the knitting universe for 20, just have absolutely shocking recommendations on how to block your finished product that are not going to give you a good result. And this one, because this one is mine, because I have a child size head. This one I held 2 strands of fingering weights together One of them was a rather fragile yarn. The other one was a stock yarn. If I blocked this one the way some people are recommending online, it would destroy this hat. So look for that short tomorrow. And I just want to say a quick word. This is the sweater I have in my profile. I made this before I got diagnosed with anxiety, but I've also lost a lot of weight. And I don't know if I can show my. It is a boyfriend hat, and it's just huge on me right now. Um, I don't think I would ever do this pattern again. Let me know in the comments if you want to know what pattern I used. Uh, it's it's bottom up instead of top down, which is really weird. Um, but um, I'm kind of disappointed, and I don't know what would you do. I don't know if I should rip it out and use it for a different one, or should I just like sell it? I have no idea. Anyway, um, so we covered 4 points today. Um, washing your hands and being intentional and um, comparing two different versions, I guess you would call it, of knitting up the melt the ice. Oh, I can't even talk to it. Melt the ice red hat. Um, and um, I gave you a heads up on the short on how to properly block your product. So this weekend for the regular podcast for episode 5, um, we're gonna discuss how can we actually use knitting as a way to help us regulate and sort our thoughts so that we actually calm down and we can work through those mental or otherwise to-do lists that just seem like, what is that? It's an increase. It's an increase hole. Usually, I know how to do that where they don't show. I'm a bit surprised. Anyway, you can tell I've had a bad anxiety day because I'm getting really distracted. But we're going to talk about that next time. How do you use knitting when you're day like I'm having today? Um anyway, so since this is a special podcast episode, I'm gonna pretty much end it right there. Um, give it a like, consider subscribing. I have absolutely no intention of doing one of those paid for communities on on this podcast channel. Absolutely not. Um, I just don't. That's not going to help anybody with anxiety, is it? So I will see you in the next one this weekend. I usually upload the regular ones on where you guys can see them on Saturday. Um, so you can look for it either Saturday morning or Sunday morning. You should be able to see it, and that will be Pacific time. So happy knitting. See you in the next one.